Welcome to the Gateless Gate Koan 31. This is Joshu Investigates the Old Woman. And this is a super fun one. This is where Joshu just has a ton of laughs. In fact, Joshu's laughing like the entire time all the way through this. And so is the old woman on this entire thing, which makes it kind of a fun koan. So we'll focus on two lessons for this koan. The first lesson is that we should try, when we're doing the true teaching, instead of just being right, hopefully we can also promote something that's actually useful. The second lesson is that the journey that you go is not the journey that you go on. So more on that a little bit later. But this is what happens. There is a holy site that many of the monks are going to, and they'll always ask this woman along the way if they're going the right way. And the woman says, go straight ahead. And when they start going straight ahead, she shakes her head and she's like, there goes another one. So this lady's just messing with them. She's messing with all of the monks. She's like, go straight ahead. And they take a few steps and she's like, oh my gosh, not that way. And anyway, so the monks are just talking. The monks are talking with Joshu and they're like, this woman is just making fun of us. So Joshu's like, okay, I'll go in. So he goes in and he says, where do I go to the holy site? And she says, straight ahead. And he's like, okay. And then he walks a few paces and the woman's like, no, not that way. There goes another one. Totally missing it. And Joshu, he knows what's going on. He totally knows what's going on. But he decides to just play along. So he goes back and he's like, yep, I investigated. Those poor monks. Yep, I investigated the old woman. That's not the answer the monks wanted. They wanted to know what was going on. But Joshu said, I will go investigate. And so he came back and he's like, I've investigated. So the monks are kind of the butt end of the joke, which I don't know if that's the nicest thing that they've ever done. But here's the point. The point is, when the woman was saying those things that the monks couldn't understand, which is kind of funny because half the time we read these koans, I'm like, I don't understand. And it takes like 3 or 4 times to kind of put together what's going on, and I have to try and correlate multiple pieces together. But this is a lesson that is, it's basically the old woman, like if she could just help the monks understand what she was trying to say. She's trying to say, like, look, the holy site is great and all, but the holy site is you. So wherever you go, there you are. So if you keep going straight ahead on your journey, then of course you're progressing towards the holy site. But the monks then, they take that to mean that we should go to the holy site itself. And that's why she's shaking her head. She's like, no, that's not what I mean. Joshu knows this too. And that's why Mumon makes all that funny commentary about generals and fortresses and all that stuff. He knows that. And then he goes back to the monks and he just plays along and he tells them other information that doesn't help them. So this is a lesson that if you're trying to help people, actually try and help them. And it's good to be right. It's good to be in a good place. So make sure you're in a good place for sure. But as you're teaching or you're going forward, there's another thing too, though. It's funny that this comes right before Koan 33, because Koan 33 is going to talk about how we can't complete the journey, or we have to complete the journey ourselves. We can't do it based on somebody else. But it's an important principle to realize that as you're teaching, try and take the person as far at least as they can go. Try and take the person as far as they can go. And you don't have to push farther than they're going to go. Don't have to do that. Try and take them as far as they can go. And try and be as helpful as you can to help them on their way. And maybe one day Joshu will, maybe the monks weren't quite ready. So maybe Joshu will come back and explain what the old woman was doing. And maybe the old woman knows they're not ready yet either. So she's just confusing them, so she opens her mind a little bit. But wherever you go, whatever you teach, work to focus on that person and to help them the best you can. And that's the lesson of this koan on the Gateless Gate series.